Hey everyone, good evening. It's Amanda with Amanda's Cooking and Things. Tonight we're going to do a Memorial Day edition. This is a good idea if you are looking to grill something, have a good snack for the weekend. I'm going to show you how to marinate it. We're going to marinate it first and then we'll come back and I'll cook it. We're also going to make with the London Broil that we're going to marinate. We're also going to take some potatoes and slice them up, probably about that thick or so, put a little oil and seasoning on it, throw in the oven, so they're like little mini baked saucer potato chunks and stuff with some corn on the cob, which is perfect for a Memorial Day celebration. So to marinate, you want to make sure that you're marinating this for a short period of time because there's soy sauce in it, and if you let it marinate too long, it'll get very salty. So I would recommend only doing it for half an hour, maybe a couple hours, depending on how much time you have. But I'm going to probably do about a half an hour to an hour for marinating mine. So first we're going to take the London Broil, put it in a baggie, in a gallon Ziploc bag. You can of course put it in whatever you want to marinate in it. I tend to use a Ziploc bag because it makes it easy, and when you're done you just throw it out and that's it. You don't have to do another dish. Alright, so let me wash my hands real quick so that I so I can touch the seasonings and stuff and throw it in there without having juicy, meaty hands. Hold please. Alright, so again, I'm going to just kind of show you what to put in here. I don't measure, I just kind of do it until it looks good. And you don't necessarily have to put all these seasonings and stuff in it. It's whatever you like, but I think it tastes pretty tasty with what I put in it. So the first thing I'm going to put is some vegetable oil. Pour some vegetable oil in there. About yay much, as you can see. I would say if I had to guess the measurement, quarter cup maybe. Then we're gonna put some soy sauce in it. Probably about 4, 5, 6 or so squirts. Probably end up putting a little more. I kind of throw things in and then see how it looks and add and things like that after the fact. Then we're also going to put some minced garlic. You can put some fresh garlic, again trying to be easy, but I also want the flavor of essentially like fresh garlic, so I do like this jarred minced garlic because it definitely brings the flavor up. Do about 3/4 of a tablespoon in there, and then I'm going to put my seasoning. So I'm going to put some Lowry seasoned salt. Let me put this in front of the camera here so you can see. So a couple squirts of that, and then some onion powder, a little bit of that, some garlic powder. I like garlic, so again, if you don't really like garlic, you can just put like the minced garlic or just garlic powder or neither. It's whatever, floats your boat. My boat, to float it, needs lots of garlic. Also some lemon pepper, a couple splurts of that. So as you can see, that's what it kind of looks like once it's all in there. And then what I do is I close it up and then I mix it, kind of, get all those seasonings and flavors and things all mixed throughout it. I'm probably, by looking at it, I don't see a whole lot of specks of garlic, so I'm going to add another spoon in here. I'm going to probably add about that much more. And for good measure, because I like lemon pepper, I'm going to add a little bit more of that. Okay. I'm definitely not going to add any more seasoned salt or anything like that because the salt from the soy sauce is going to be good enough. So, move it around. And it should look kind of like that. Okay? And then you'll put it in the fridge, let it marinate. Like I said, I usually do it for half an hour to an hour. I'll probably most likely do it an hour, and what I'll do is in a half an hour flip it and kind of mix it again. Just want to make sure, because it will start to separate and settle a little bit. So I want to make sure that it keeps evenly marinating. And then once this is done marinating, we're going to grill it. I don't have a grill, so I have my, what I call my fake grill pan. It does the job just like it is a grill. So, and we'll show you how to do that. So, we're going to let this marinate, and I'll come back and we'll finish the rest of the dinner. See you soon. And we're back. So we're going to cut up the potatoes right now. I'm going to cut them up in thin-ish slices. I tend to just cut off the ends. I don't really like the ends, so I just cut those off and throw those out. And then I make it about that thick, maybe a little bit thinner. I'm going to throw it right now into a bowl, because I'm going to put some oil and seasoning and stuff and toss it around and then put it on the cookie sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and slice up these potatoes and throw them in this bowl here. So how's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's having a good Thursday. And hopefully everybody has good weekends planned. I am actually getting my nails done this weekend. I'm so excited to finally not have these nubs no more, and start to feel normal again with having some nails. So I'm pretty excited about that. So once I have the potatoes cut up, then I'm going to toss it, like I said, in the oil and seasoning and stuff. And then I'm going to throw it in the oven. I have the oven at about 400 degrees. And I'll do it for about 10 or 15 minutes, just until I can stick the fork in the potato. So I'll start about 10 minutes, and then I will check them and see that they're done. And then if they're not, depending on how far along they are, and I'll change the time accordingly. Alright, one more potato to cut up, and then we're done. Well, done with this step. This one is a pretty large potato. Alright, now let's throw that in here. I'm going to throw out my little ends. Alright. Now I'm going to put some oil in here, just enough to coat it. And then I am going to onion powder. couple splurts of that. Larry seasoned salt. Oh. Garlic powder. And then lemon pepper. Alright, now I'm going to take a little spoon and kind of toss it all around. Shake it all about. I'm going to just try and make sure everything's kind of evenly coated and not, you know, all just on one. There you go. As you can see, it's all evenly coated. So now I'm going to put it on a foiled cooking sheet. I'm just gonna kind of toss it on there, but you wanna make sure that they're all flat, so and not touching. So I'm just kind of spreading these out. I'll show you in a second what it looks like when they're all on here, so you can see. I'm just trying to spread them all out, spread them all out, spread them all out, spread them all out. Like I said, it's super simple, but they taste so good when it's done. Like I said, you want to spread them out as much as you can and not have them touch. Alright, so it'll kind of like that, all spread out. Now the edges and stuff can touch, it's not a big deal. It's, you know, you just don't want them on top of each other, so everything laying flat. Alright, let me wash my hands real quick to get the oil off. Alright, now we're going to I'm going to move this to the side for a little bit because the oven isn't fully preheated. So I'm going to put a little oil. This is the fake grill pan I was telling you about. It's just a pan that has the grooves in it, and I just put it right on the stove. And I put a little oil in it. You know, whatever oil you got, it doesn't necessarily matter. Put a couple tablespoons of that in there and start to heat it up. And then once it's heated up, then obviously you start cooking the London broil. So depending on how you like your London broil, I like mine a little more on the medium rare side. So I'll do mine from 7 to 8 minutes on each side. So, and then mine will be done. But you want to make sure the key is when you're done cooking it, to let it sit. Cover it with foil. I usually put it on a plate, cover it with foil, let it rest before cutting into it. You don't want to immediately cut into it because then the juices are going to get everywhere. Like, you want the meat time to rest. The juices will start to come out, but then it will actually reabsorb back into it and taste delicious. So you always, anytime you make a steak of some kind, you want to make sure that you let it rest before actually cutting into it. So I'm just going to wait for this to heat up. Oh, that was the oven. So I can go ahead and at least put in our potatoes. So I'm going to start that timer. I'm going to do 15 minutes, but I'll probably check it before the 15 minutes are up. So I'm still waiting on the pan to heat up. The other thing you want to do too when making meat, you want to take it out and put it on the counter a little bit to warm up before you put it on the stove or the grill or whatever. Usually you want to let it just sit out just for, 15 minutes or whatever, just to get, a little warmer. You just don't want to put, a cold piece of meat on a hot thing, whether it be a grill or whatever. You don't want it to be hot. So just kind of make sure, and usually what I do as far as testing to see when this is ready, when it starts sizzling, I will take a drop of water on my finger. So I'll turn on the water. I'll do it to where there's a drop coming off of my finger, and I will put it in the pan, and if nothing happens, just like that, it's not ready yet. So I want it to have a little bit of a sizzle. But I'm so excited for this. I love London Broil. It's one of my favorite things. I'm going to also take out a pan because I want to make some sauteed mushrooms to go with it. So let me get that out of the fridge here. I've already got some pre-sliced mushrooms. Sometimes, I'm lazy. I don't want to have to cut them up myself. I just buy them pre-sliced, which makes things a lot easier when they're already sliced up. That you can just throw in a blob of butter and then the things, and boom, cook it. So I'm going to use some, I can't believe it's not butter for it. About that much. I'm going to pour it in there and then put the mushrooms on top of that. I'm not going to start the mushrooms yet because those cook so quickly. They'll be done before anything else. So, oh, I should have left some of that water on my hand to see this. So I think this is almost ready. So you hear that? Here, let me get some more water here on my hand. Listen. I didn't have enough water, sorry. Hold on. Just a little bit. Hear that? So you want that sizzle. So now it's ready. So let me put you down here so I can pull out my meat and put it on. Okay. All right. I'm going to dump out the rest of this. And let me wash my hands real quick. Hold, please. Alright, so while that goes, there's really not a whole lot we can do besides let it cook. So next week, I'm actually trying some HelloFresh boxes. So I will definitely record that to show you. I've never done it before. This is the first time I'm ordering one of those things. They had a really good sale for Memorial Day, so I was like, I'll try it, see what happens. You know, it puts a little variety in our lives. So I got the 3 meals. I should get it Monday or Tuesday, I think it said. So I can't remember what the dinners were, but it sounded very delicious. So, you know, try it. We'll see what happens. Of course, I'm sure I'll modify it in some form or fashion, because that's what I tend to do with a lot of things. I modify it. So, yeah, that'll be fun. Something different, something new, and, you know, maybe inspires you to try them. You know, you never know. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of pause this right now because, you know, there's not really a whole lot going on. It's all cooking, so you just kind of got to wait. So while it's cooking, but we'll come back when it's almost done so you can see. And then, yeah, and then it'll be dinner time. I'm pretty excited. It already smells amazing. It smells so good. I love London Broil. It just this, and this marinade is so simple. I mean, soy sauce, oil, and seasonings, like, and garlic. That's it. Super simple. So, we'll be back. I'll definitely flip this in, you know, the 7 to 8 minutes. Again, if you need it to be a little less rare, more on the medium side, you know, you cook it a little bit longer. It also depends on how thick your piece of meat is. You know, the thicker the meat, the longer it will take to cook it more and things like that. So it just depends on what your preference is and how done you like yours. I, of course, people always joke, I like mine to move a little bit. I mean, it is what it is. So, anyway, so I'm going to let that cook, and I'll be back. And I'm back. So, as you can see, let me just turn it around so you can see. Look at those grill marks without a grill. Isn't that awesome? And then, oh, let me show you this. This is the finished product. As you can see, it's perfectly cooked. The potatoes actually ended up taking about 25 minutes. I think that was more because I made them on the thicker side, but still turned out looking pretty good. So let's take a try of the meat and the mushroom. Of course, you have to have both in one bite. Perfect. It tastes so good. And it's tender. Perfectly marinated. So good. Now let's try the potato. Perfectly seasoned. Perfectly cooked. And there you have it. This would be a perfect dinner for, or lunch, for Memorial Day or even 4th of July coming up. Super simple. Marinate it, put it on the grill, boom. Cut up the potatoes, little oil, seasoning, and you're good to go. Alright, until next time, have a good night, everyone.